So I want y'all to, we would really appreciate if y'all can subscribe to our channel. We do a lot of positive videos that help you guys in life, which, well, we hope we do. So
it'll help you to think. Productive family videos, positive ones. So with that being said, what this video today is going to be about, something very important that any and every one of you out there can relate to. And it's going to be dealing with family members that have unfortunately has passed away in the physical. They are no longer with us physically, but just because they're no longer with us physically does not mean that they're no longer with us mentally
or spiritually.
Exactly. So with that all being said, that's why we're going to title this video, Keeping Our Ancestors' Memory Alive.
Yeah.
Like that? Mm-hmm. So, and what I mean by that, family out there, viewing audience out there, it's your responsibility. It's our responsibility. It's everybody's responsibility to talk to your kids, your children about grandma, granddad,
great-grandma,
the great-grandmother. They need to know about their ancestors.
The tree of history.
Yeah. They need to know about all the stuff, how their grandmother raised their mother, their grandfather. They need to know these things. A lot of kids out here really don't know about their grandparents and so on. Some kids out here can't even go past grandma. Some, unfortunately, can't go past mom. You know, it's sad that they don't know their family tree and they can't dive down that family tree and say, oh, this auntie, this uncle, this great uncle, this great granddad, this. A lot of them don't know this. But like I said, just because they're no longer with us physically, you could tell them all the great things that keep their memory alive. They need to know about their grandparents and stuff like that.
I was gonna say, not even tell them, like what you told us earlier is when you go to certain houses and they have that table with family portraits.
See, you don't see that no more.
Or even like I know certain families, I'm pretty sure they have old videos and you can show that to your kids. Like, look, this was your grandmother, your great grandmother.
Well, mostly I know.
Yes, great point. That was the normal thing in my generation growing up. Everybody talked about the photo album, and it was cool to go over to certain people's house. They had that living room table and every bunch of cutout pictures in it, and everybody was like, "Oh man, that's uncle and that's auntie," you know. "Oh man, yeah, he passed away." Well, but I remember
grandparents are known for that.
Yes,
you actually go to elderly people's house and they have a table full of
photos.
Yeah, full of photos.
Very important. Now I'm gonna touch on some personal stuff. Let's take my mother for example. I mean, my actual mom. Now my mom died when I was like 5 years old. But I got a great memory. I remember everything about my mother. And that's another thing to help a lot of you out there with your memory. Go to another one of our great videos. It's called Memory Restoration. I assure you, you're going to love it.
Subscribe to that if you didn't.
We talk about how to enhance your memory. And I'm going to break stuff down for you to make you understand that you will be very thrilled to say, hey, he's right. That, when I did this, what he said in the video, it did work exactly like that. But now, like I said, touching on my mother, which is your grandmother, right? You've obviously never met your grandmother,
but you always speak of her.
But I assure any viewing person out there, if you ever talk to my daughter about my mother, which is her grandmother, you would swear she met her. Why? Because I talk about my mom's all the time to her. Her sister's not here now, so we apologize about that. But I talk about my mom's all the time to them about how me and my mother, we used to have, with my brothers and sisters, we used to have actual water fights.
Or the crabs.
Yeah, at night when we all just have crabs and we just round, we would actually go to the lake and we would collect. What I was talking about. Yeah, that was cool how we would get it ourselves. We did it as a family and older brothers and stuff. But my mother, she would show us how to do all that. But the water fights. You know, how many parents out there, how many kids out there can say you actually have a water fight with your moms? But I told y'all all stuff like that. I would tell y'all how feisty my mother would be sometimes. Stuff didn't go her way. Or especially times like when y'all was growing up, let's say if y'all was cutting up with something. I used to always throw in y'all face, you know what, I swear, if your grandmother was here, I wouldn't even deal with y'all. I'm telling you, I would just drop you off at your grandmother's house and she would just deal with you. I'm telling you, she would deal with you because I wouldn't be dealing with y'all with this crap. I'll let her handle y'all. And I will always throw that in their face and they'd be like, oh man, you always throwing on grandma. But that's my point. I keep her memory alive because I'm always talking about her with responsible things she did, funny things she did, you know, all kind of stuff. But I always remind y'all about her. So that's why you know so much about her. And anyone would think you actually knew her because I keep her memory alive. because we talk about it so much.
Yeah, well, actually, the grandparents, even great-great-parents, they used to really discipline our kids.
Yes.
And really, that would have made a very huge difference. Sometimes in today's society, some of these kids, they still got great grandparents, but they haven't even met them.
Don't got a relationship with them.
They don't even have a relationship.
So that's why I encourage any parents out there, you need to make your family have that relationship with the ancestors. They need to know their ancestors. They need to have a relationship. We don't care that Uncle Pete always up in the room with the door shut. We know we got them crazy ones. Everybody got that crazy uncle, that aunt. She always in the room with the door shut. Look, we need to know the grandkids. We need to know all the other siblings. I'm sorry, good.
No, I was just gonna say, even appreciate if your grandparents are still alive to this day. Like appreciate like simple things like having a family dinner together. Like those
that dinner table is crucial.
Those go a long way. Like Sunday dinners, try to make it happen.
They still carry on the old-fashioned way.
You need some of them old-fashioned ways because those old-fashioned ways keep the family tight. You know what I'm saying? You got time to interact with one another and talk. And sometimes you'll get that lesson from the old uncle or aunt who will tell you something that make you be like, wow, you have a greater understanding and respect for that older uncle or aunt or grandmother, grandfather, because they took the time to show you you're important. You're from my blood. You're my great nephew, my great niece. You know what? You're important. And that's why I take time to explain stuff to you. You know, you need to know this. And guess what? My brother, which is your great uncle or whatever, you know, he used to do this. You need to tell these stories to each other. Keep that memory of the family alive.
Exactly. Right.
I'll give you something personal with your mother. Now, as you know, me and mommy been married now, 24 years? We've been getting together 25. Happily married. I'm in total euphoria. I love my wife just like from the day I met her. Still feel the same about it. Pain in the butt sometimes. I'm going to Ike Turner. I'm going to move Ike Turner over here.
Okay.
Nah, I'm kidding. But even with my wife's mom, now I'll give you a prime example. Unfortunately, your mother's no longer with us in the physical. But I talk about your mother all the time.
She did a lot of memories.
Yeah, just like with I did with my mother. I talk about her mother a lot, and she does the same. But I'll give you a prime example of me, personal experience of me with my wife's mom. For example, when I first got with my wife, and all the time that I was with her in the very beginning, her mother didn't talk to me at all because her mother didn't know much English. But she did, but she was too embarrassed to speak it. So her mother didn't speak, and I told you all these stories. Her moms didn't speak to me at all, and it kind of bothered me. Because I was like, yo, man, I come down, your mother, I be trying to talk to her. She don't talk much. But I got to admit, your mother was the prime example of when they say, it don't matter what a person say, it's what they do.
Actions speak louder than words.
And your mother was a prime example of that. Like I said, she's no longer with us, but it took me a while to see the great respect she had for me because she didn't talk to me, and I was bothered by that. But every time I would go down to your house, your mother always had dinner for me. And if she knew I was coming out, she would encourage you to get dinner ready for me and stuff like that. I appreciate that. But she never talked to me. And then I remember it was times I invited your mother out for breakfast or lunch, and she always turned me down.
Yeah, she was.
And I was like, yo, she never take time with me. And I'm going to be totally honest. This is getting real personal. All the times I asked your mother to go out to lunch and dinner, she always turned me down. And I've been with you for a while. She just turned me down. And when your twin sister husband came in the picture, he was a new guy. Didn't even barely know your mother. He invited her to go all the way down, Carolina, and she went. That hurt my feelings because I was like, yo, I've been with you way longer. But it was because he was Spanish and he spoke the language. She made him feel more comfortable. But I'm getting to my point here. That was just a personal stuff I threw in here. Although her moms didn't really talk to me much, and like I said, bless her, she's no longer with us in the physical. But we talk about her mentally and spiritually all the time to keep her memory alive. So although she didn't talk to me personally a lot, I have to say, when I went down to the house, it was always a great deal of respect that she showed me. And then not only that, I remember when her sister came from Puerto Rico over here. And when her sister seen me, her sister gave me the biggest hug and was like, oh, my sister, she talks about you all the time. But she said it in Spanish to you and stuff. And she's like, and I was like, oh, that's cool. She be talking about me? Like, your mom's always telling them about me. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then when I met your family from Texas, they the same thing. They was like, oh, my cousin, meaning your mom's, she talks about, like, you're Junior? It's like, oh my gosh, my cousin, she talks about you all the time, that you're this great guy, and you treat her daughter with such great prestige and respect. Oh, my sister, my cousin always talk about it. Yo, when unfortunately, when your mom's passed away, and your uncles came from Puerto Rico, I had never met. When they seen me at the funeral home, they was like, oh, you're Junior. I kept getting this, that people kept saying, you're Junior. Yes. My sister talks about you all the time. Man, she says how much of a great guy you are, this and that. And every time I was like, that's amazing. Your mother never talked to me, but it turns out she talked about me all the time in such a great honor and respect that she had for me. So it shows. So it goes back to that old saying, the old axiom that says, it don't matter what a person say. It's based on what they do. And I gotta say, your mother had a great deal of respect for me. It made me love her more. It made me talk about her more because it was such a great feeling. Like, wow, she showed how much she respected me.
Well, she realized, a mother knows. A mother knows and realized that you're a good man.
I appreciate it.
Actions, you know?
I appreciate it. I appreciate everything your mother has shown me. It was a wonderful thing. Even though that one little thing, I was like, oh, you want to go to lunch with me? But you go with this guy. You just met him. Like, this boy. But she showed it.
Yes.
So, so once again, she's no longer with us, but we keep her memory alive. We talk about your moms all the time. I even throw a little silly stuff in your face. Like, let's say the house is messed up. I always say to my wife, I'll be like, babe, you see how messed up this house is? Boy, if your mother was alive, I go tell your mother, go look at your wife. She left this house a mess. I always say that. I'm like, she be turning in the grave. She see this like this.
Well, she will be mad at me. She will be mad at you.
Exactly. But yeah, family out there, we just try to make it a little humorous because, people need that in your life as well. But it's vital that you know your ancestors. It's vital that families spend more time with each other. Put them cell phones down. Cut off them stupid fake shows because it's messing with your children's mind of how they really should be brought up. You know what I'm saying? It's very vital. Vital means an absolute, if you look up the word, it means absolute necessary of importance. See, I always throw a word out there for y'all. So that word today is vital. V-I-T-A-L. Vital meaning absolutely necessary.
Or important.
Very important. Yes. It's vital that y'all take the time to make it your job that your kids and other family members know about their ancestors, that your ancestors are the reason why you're here today. You need to know about all your family members that was way before you, that yes, they passed away. Physically, they're no longer here, but mentally and spiritually, you need to know about them.
Yeah, and for those who they still have their great-grandparents,
take time with them.
I hear that they are still alive, they still exist. Like you said, take time to really give them a call.
Yeah.
Or at least even if it's a minute or two, but just give them a call. Let them know how much of importance that they are. I
like that because y'all, anyone that knows me know how I feel about stop waiting till people die.
Yeah.
To all of a sudden now you want to take time to say I'm going to the funeral or the wake or whatever. I can't stand that. And like I said, anybody that knows me know I don't play them games. I take time for anybody that's alive now. I don't wait till people die. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I don't mean to get passionate with that. But doggone, yes, I do. Because people need to knock it off with this. But like I said, keeping your ancestors' memory alive. When I say we're going to tie this, keeping your ancestors' memory alive. Yes, it's very vital. It's vital that you talk to them. It's vital that they know about their ancestors. So we're not going to keep this too long. There was something else I was going to say to add to that. You got anything in closing?
She stole all my stuff. I was just saying everything I just said earlier. It's just appreciate them, especially when they're alive. It's unfortunate when the loved ones that you used to love, they're gone. But that's what makes the ones that are alive more precious. Not saying the other ones aren't precious, but just you have time to talk to them. You have time to go visit them. That makes their day very special.
Something I know I was going to say. We all had a deja vu moment. All of us have. Sometimes, you go you might be across town or across the country somewhere in a place you've never been. You know for a fact you've never been in this place. And when you walk in there, you be like, whoa, this is weird. It felt like I've been here before. That's your ancestors.
Yeah.
That is your ancestors. They are giving you vision. They giving you thoughts. They letting you know, yeah, I've been here. You might not been here. I've been here. You come from my blood.
I never thought about it
And yeah, that's what that is. Remember, they put it in the movie The Mummy Returns. Remember when the two girls was fighting, and at one moment she just got caught in a trance. Yeah. And she seen herself ages ago. It was the same person. Yeah. See, that's like what Bobby Hemming said many years ago. A lot of movies, they put the truth right in your face. But a lot of people don't want to believe it's the truth because, oh, it's a movie. Oh, it's a comedian. But they telling you the truth right in your face. Now, I don't remember the year it was, but it was many years ago where they passed a law with that, where it said the media movies cannot directly tell you the truth about stuff, but they can indirectly tell you. And that's what that was in the movie. They was letting you know. That's what that deja vu moment is. This is your ancestors talking to you. Yeah. But what I would say in closing is that, and I'm probably being redundant here, get to know your family. It is vital, meaning absolutely necessary and important. Get to know your family. Put their cell phone down sometimes. Knock it off with the unnecessary, silly, fake shows. Go over to your family's house. Open up that closet. Go up in that attic. Go in that basement. Pull out that photo album. Because every family member got it. Pull out them photo albums and go through them photo albums with your family. Tell the family members, yo, that's cousin such and such, that's auntie, and that's grandma, that's grandma. Y'all need to make a day out of it. I'm telling you, it's an eventful moment to do that. Sit and talk with your family. Pull all the photo albums out. Y'all remember the old tables? I like that you brought that up because that was cool. I remember when I was a young teenager, the first time I seen that was somebody's house, they had the glass table, and like I said, all the cutout pictures, and they they put it up under the glass, and anybody that walked in the house, especially family member, you couldn't help but to say, oh man, look at that picture of me when I was a kid. Grandma holding me, and grandpa was holding. Oh, I remember that.
I do gotta say, you're here because of them.
Yes.
Because if you go the long way back, how you guys, your great grandmother and all that, throughout the years, that's how you became to be here.
Yes.
So
respect that while you're here.
Yeah.
So that was my in closing. Get to know your family. More is very important. It's vital. Absolutely necessary and important. Pull out that old photo album. Make it a day. Make it an event to talk to your family about everybody that's in that photo album, who they are and what they mean to you, what they should mean to you. It is important that you do these things. Family need to understand what family truly is and the bond that's supposed to be there. Something else I was going to add to that. And I don't want to get too deep here because it's like a whole nother subject, but you realize most families cannot go past 2 generations. Most kids can't even tell you about their grandmother, grandfather, especially their great-grandfather, grandmother, great-grandmother. They can't. And that's sad that you don't know nothing about your grandmother, your great-grandmother, great-grandfather. That's not good. But we can work on it. As I always say, let's be productive. So you can work on it. Like I said, get in that basement, get in that attic, go in that old closet, pull those photo albums out, family. Go through those photo albums. That's your family. You need to know them. Anything else?
Exactly. That'll be it.
Anything else? And on that note, peace. Hope y'all appreciate this. Peace.